human being or any everything is basically dynamic. It's impossible for anything to be on one straight signal or volume. Even me, when I'm speaking, I mean, except I'm a robot. Only robots can speak on one volume. But if you're a human, that's why you kind of see some people and you're like, oh, that person is kind of weird sometimes because maybe they're giving like a robotic vibe. So think of it this way: it's it tries to create like a sort of ceiling in some cases, right? Let's assume you are singing the compress. You also assume you are singing at this volume. A compressor tries to typically set a sort of ceiling to make sure that as you're singing, you don't go past a certain level, right? It makes sure you don't go past a certain level. And parts when you are singing low, it tries to also bring it up slightly, and I'll show you that to so that it basically tries to make sure that everything you are singing sounds like it's the same volume. That's the reason why you hear all these guys on stage. They sound like they're singing on the same volume the whole time because there's a compressor that is doing two things. It's making sure that their loud point doesn't go past a certain volume so it doesn't sound distorted, right? And it also makes sure that the point when they're singing quite low, it tries to bring it up to a point where everything sounds s- around the same volume. So basically, a compressor or compression basically reduces the dynamic range of a vocal. It makes it less dynamic. It makes it less up and down, right? Up and down. It makes it more uniform, right? Instead of one is
So
high.
that's what
Go ahead. Uh-huh.
I was gonna say. That's why when you hear people on stage, it sort of sounds like it doesn't go
Hmm.
past a certain. Yeah, makes
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly. So it basically, you can see it makes the quieter parts louder and the louder parts softer. So basically, there's a different, yeah. So you can think exactly.
Know my secrets like a password. Know my secrets like a
You see
password.
that?
Keep it moving, can we fast forward?
Just watch.
Sign your name upon my passport. Willing if you really ask for it.
So this thing right now is the threshold is basically the ceiling that I was referring to. That's the ceiling right here.
So
That's the ceiling that comes with a compressor. A threshold is also like a ceiling, right? Look at that.
Know
You
my
can see that the
secrets
vocal is
like
kind
a
of getting close to it.
password.
So if I want to control this vocal, what I would do, I'll just pull down the ceiling just a tad bit.
Know my secrets like a password. Keep it moving, can we fast?
So this part you see here is called gain reduction. That simply means how much gain is being reduced.
Know my secrets like a
You see that? It starts
password.
coming down.
Keep it moving,
Do you
can
see
we
that?
fast forward? Sign your
yeah,
name upon my
So basically
passport.
it's making it more
Willing if you
balanced.
really ask for it.
But
Know
now,
my secrets like
before
a
that, it feels like the vocals
password.
are
Keep
jumping.
it moving, can we
So we try
fast
to
forward?
is the ratio. I don't want to think too much about it, but like I said, I want to do more action for you. The ratio typically is saying for every this might not you might hopefully you get what I'm saying instantly. The ratio typically is saying for every 4 dB, which simply means dB is basically the measurement of the loudness of the signal or the audio. So the ratio typically is saying there are different types of ratio. Typically, for it's usually, I mean, if you want to hear what it's doing, it usually starts from two. Compressor typically
okay.
does it. So every signal that goes above this
Know
threshold,
my secrets like a password.
just allow only one of it. The attack is basically saying how fast is the compressor going to bring the audio down, right? So think of it this way: the audio you're singing, right? The ceiling is here. The moment the voice gets to this point, how fast is the compressor going to bring it back down,
Okay.
right? Like the moment the audio comes and it's 2 dB, which is two times above the signal, how fast is the compressor going to bring it back under here? This is the ceiling. Every time the audio comes like this, how fast is the compressor going to bring it back here? That's what the attack
That
is.
makes sense.
How fast is it going to react? How fast is the compressor going to start compressing the sound? That's what it is. So typically, you think of it. I mean, you think of it, and you try and listen to it though.
Know my secrets like
But like the faster is usually the faster attacks are usually for like precautions. No, no, not for precautions. It's when you typically want means after the compressor has activated and controlled the sound. So look at it this way: a compressor is a controller. So after the compressor has controlled the volume of that sound, when would the compressor let go and allow the voice to get back to like a normal audio? Right? So it's basically saying, okay, the person is singing, and the person sings above the ceiling. Like, okay, this is the ceiling that's been set. The person is singing around here, and the person sings at a particular point, and it gets above, and it's like, no, don't go above. I want to control the sound, right? So the attack is how fast is it going to come back under, right? And also after it has done this, it needs to let it go so it can sound natural. So how fast? Sorry, when is it going to let go so the vocal can go back to its normal signal above here? That's what the release is. So the faster the release is, it means okay, it's going to let go quickly. If you increase how much the release is, that simply means okay, I want it to take time before it lets go. That simply means it's somewhere like around here, like it's,
Know my secrets like a
you can see how it's moving, like
password.
it's feeling
Keep
more
it moving,
natural.
can we fast forward? Sign your name up on my passport.
Like in time,
Willing if you
when you
really
train
ask
your ears, it will
for
start
it.
making
Know
sense,
my
right? And then there's something called, you can even, so it even allows, I think it actually allows you to even do an auto release. So you can click auto and let it
Know
figure it
my
out for you.
secrets like a
So that's a cheat code
password.
right there.
Keep it moving, can we fast forward? Sign your name
Yes,
up.
this view. But if you want to use this view too,
Know my
cool.
secrets
But
like a
this is much more
password.
visual.
Keep it
You
moving,
can
can
see
we
your
fast
voice.
forward? Sign your name up on my
That's a jump right there. You
passport.
see how?
Know my secrets like a password.
But if we increase the attack, like see,
Know my secrets like a
you see how much it's doing?
password. Keep
So
it.
I want you to look at this section, right? When I increase the attack, like when I make it slow, this is a slow attack.
Know my secrets like a
Look, you see how much it takes.
password.
It's not doing
Keep
so
it
much.
moving, can we fast?
But when I reduce the attack here,
Know my secrets like a
you see how sharp it is?
password. Keep it moving,
It
can we
changes.
fast forward? Sign your
That means
name
it's
up
moving
on my
fast. You see that? That's fast. That's
passport.
very fast.
Willing if you really ask
That's
for it.
fast.
Know my secrets like a password.
If I increase it, I'm just trying to show you like the effects of what that does to the audio. See?
Know my secrets like a
You see that?
password.
It's typically
Keep it
not even doing
moving, can
anything.
we fast
It's not doing so much
forward?
compression.